So this is episode 0 of the form phase. We are the 1st of January of 2026. So Happy New Year, first of all. And now into this video, what we're going to explain is my experience with the volume form type of method to build strength in calisthenics. I'll explain what is a volume phase, what is a form phase, and what I thought of them. I thought of the volume phase at least before doing it, what my mistakes during the volume phase are, and what I think about the form phase, and then after the form phase I'll do a video where I explain what my mistakes have been. So this video will be very useful for you if you want to try this method, because I think it's a really helpful method. When it started in July, I had one planche press, about 4 full planche seconds, and I couldn't do even one push-up to hold. Now, 5 months later, I can do 7 presses. I probably can do also 10 push-ups to press. I tried it a few weeks ago and I was really close to it. I just couldn't do any attempts lately because I started feeling a little pain in the shoulder and I prefer not to push it. But it's in my opinion a way better method to build strength compared to like building form together with volume and the schedule method and all those other methods, like getting a little bit of volume, then cleaning it like 1 week. Don't really like those methods. I prefer doing big form phase and big volume phase of a couple months each. So yeah, to be clear in this video and not forget things, I'll have here a script. Like, it's not a real script, but it's at least points that I have to follow during the introduction. So yeah, I think we can start to speak about what a volume phase is in specific. So a volume phase is a phase that you usually start after you've got at least your first planche and front lever dynamics. So like 1 planche press, 1 planche push-ups, and a few seconds hold. Same for front lever, 1 pull-up, 1 raise, few seconds hold, and maybe a touch. I don't have touch yet, like not a clean one at least. So I can't really speak about that. But for basic dynamics, since the objective of the volume phase is increasing the number of the dynamics. And in this phase, you don't think a lot about the form. Like you try to not do the one that is called risky compensations, like bending your arms or implanchment, or losing completely your protraction in planche. Those things are really bad, but like you can lose a little bit of protraction, and especially you can do all the leverage compensation, which are like keeping, bending your legs, doing partial range of motion, and presses especially, and also in push-ups at least. I'll speak more with planche terms because I'm a planche specialist, but you can apply the same to front lever. And yeah, during this phase, if you saw my vlogs so far, you can see that my form was completely shit. But I was very rarely bending my arms. Like those times that it happened for me to bend my arms, each time after the training I was saying, yes, I bent my arms, I have to work on it. So it's very important to not pass some limits. If you pass them, you risk to get injured. It happened to me, not with major injuries in this volume phase, but little inflammation like this shoulder inflammation or a bicep inflammation I had that didn't allow me to train supination planche, for example, for a couple weeks. So you have to really pay attention to that. And that's basically it for the volume phase. I'll explain then also the relation between form and volume phase. The form phase is basically trying to clean all the volume you build. So basically, if you started the volume phase at 1 press, now you have a 6 or 8 presses. You can start cleaning them, trying to do the full range of motion, trying to not lose the protraction when you're going in the negative, trying to maybe not bend your legs when you're going up, trying to be more explosive, trying to be higher in plunge when you're doing the negatives. And it's much easier to clean like this, because if you have to clean your presses when you can barely do one, it's going to be super hard to think about the form elements, like having a good protraction and stuff. But if you can do a lot of presses, like right now, I can just go there and do a press without even thinking about it. So then if I'm warmed up good, I can even do 2 free presses, really thinking about the activation. So it's really important to build the volume first. And then obviously it's going to be harder to do the presses with the clean form compared to a bad form. But it's needed. Like if you keep going with the bad form of volume, at some point you get stuck. So in this phase, in the form phase, especially the first ones, it's not really important to get to perfect form like Nathan, Bozish, or Karisrama kind of form that are perfect. You can just get to a good form where all the muscles are activated in the correct way. Then it depends on how long is the combination. After the first form phase, you should be able to do like a perfect full plunge, perfect maybe push up to press. But for longer combinations like 3-3-3, 5-5-5, a good or an okay form would be fine. Like a good form is like a 9, 8 out of 10, and okay form is like 7 out of 10. But it's amount of form where everything is in place, you just have to perfect some stuff. And yeah, very important, when you're doing a form, it doesn't mean that you're completely stopping the volume work. You still have, like, you can go one day you're doing 3-3-3, 4-4-4. The day after, the longest combo you do is a push-up to press. You, like that, will lose a ton of volume. So you have to work a lot on like doing a one good push-up, doing one good press, and all that stuff. But you also have to like do longer sets in order to maintain your volume, or at least maybe I'll change idea on this during the form phase, but I don't think so. Then talking about the relationship between form and volume phase. When I started the volume phase, what I used to think is like, imagine like a graphic where on the epsilon you have the form, and on the x you have the volume. Yeah, here. So if you think it like that, what I used to think is that your first volume, like your volume phase will be like this, keeping kind of your form and just increasing volume. And then when you're doing like form, you're doing something like this, less volume, better form, and so on. And what you're doing is something like this. But during the volume phase, I actually understood that it doesn't quite work like that. Actually, during the volume phase, you still get to have a better form. If you watch like my first vlogs from July, you see that my best full plunge then was so much worse than my best full plunge now. Like now I can do an almost perfect 3 seconds full plunge. At the time, not even close, not even with a band. So if I have to do a graphic right now of how I think that, like how I know that volume phase work and how I think form phase work, I would say that's something like when you're doing volume, you're increasing a lot the volume and not that much the form. And when you're doing form, you're increasing a lot the form and not that much the volume. And so the graphic will be something like this. Yeah, here's too much. So this is the idea. I saw some guy doing things like when you're doing volume and form is something that looks a little bit like this, which is very similar to what I've shown in the previous graphic, but if you see here, when you're doing form, you're coming back on the volume. Since those guys are more experienced than me, like Valentine, OTZ, maybe they're right. I'll try it by myself and I'll see. I just wanted to say it in order for you to have even more knowledge about it, since most of my knowledge comes from these guys. So it's, I want to give my point of view, but their point of view is good as well. Now, my mistakes during the volume phase were mainly the thing that I stopped the volume phase too late. Maybe the perfect moment to stop it was in the beginning of December or the end of November kind of moment where I had already 333. I was able to play around with combos. I had, I think, 5 or 6 presses, I don't remember quite, but I was working on 6 surely. And my volume was really good. In front lever wasn't any that good, but yeah, I didn't work on my front lever enough during this volume phase. That I still miss a lot of knowledge when it comes to front lever, so speak about that a little bit even later. But that has been a big problem. Like I was so obsessed with getting my goal, which is 555, which was 555 because at this point the volume phase is ended, and I've got like a 5 push-ups and 4 presses with the 4th one that wasn't really closed, but fine like that. I still managed to build a lot of volume, even if for the one that I call the September/October arc, I was very weak because I've lost my confidence. One thing very important, a big mistake I've done in this volume phase is that at some point I was seeing all the guys, like friends of mine or even on Instagram, doing crazy stuff, and I was just like, I was feeling weak and I was angry with myself for that, and I lost my confidence. Like if in August I was going there and thinking, yeah, I got this and all this. For September and October, I was like, yeah, I'm so weak and all that stuff. And that actually made me weak. So a really important thing is not just for volume and form phases. When you're doing calisthenics, you really have to think that you know what you're doing and you can do it, because otherwise you won't be able to do that. Your level will go down. For me, I went from the beginning of September, where I was really close to doing 222, to the end, to the beginning of October, where I was struggling to do 1 push-up to press, and that was incredibly embarrassing. So yeah, the 2 main things I would say: keep high your level of confidence, and if you feel like your volume it's enough, even if you didn't reach quite your goals, you can start cleaning. Like just do 1 month where you clean your form too, and then you go back to your volume phase and you reach your volume goals so much quicker. So that surely major thing to know. And for the form phase, I've explained the little that I know about it, that I saw on the internet, trying to get the knowledge about it. But I think that I will still do mistakes during this form phase, and I'll be here to talk to you of all my mistakes. in 2 months, maybe 2 months and a half, when I'll finish this form phase. Now, since it's the beginning of also the form phase series, and not just an explanation video, I will speak about my goals for this form phase that are 333 or 444, depends on how it gets. That are 444 is the maximum I've got as an XXX. I would like to get a 333 or a 444 with an 8 out of 10 form, so a good form, getting all the range of motion in presses, maybe not keeping in push-ups, or like slightly keeping, doing dead stop after the push-up before starting pressing, and having a good protraction and good form overall in the hold at the end. I'm sure that I'll be able to do that for 333 because I already have like a 6 out of 10 333. I'm not really sure I'll be able to do that for 444, but it's better for me to give me a hard objective than an easy one. And then also, even if I didn't get 555, I'll try anyways to get a 7 out of 10 555, because as I explained before on the graphic, I think that my volume will still increase in form phase, even if much slower than my form that what it would have been in a volume phase. But yeah, we'll see if I'm able to do that. It depends on how the form phase turned out to be. And then I want to get to do more control combos, because right now, like, I'm doing archer combos and stuff, but I'm not really controlling what I'm doing. I'm doing push-ups and getting like with no controlling full planche, and I want to be able to do slow things and really have the control on what I'm doing. Also because the next volume phase will be mostly on floor and supination things, and there you really need more control compared to P-bars. Then front lever objectives, I want to get a no kipping pull up front lever, little bug in the system. I want to get like 2, 3 or 4 reps of front lever pull-ups with no kipping. Right now I should be able to do like 6 or 7 reps of front lever pull-ups, but I have to keep them a little bit to complete the rep. So I really want to keep my body completely aligned and pull straightly, feel the strength. Really want to do that. And also I want to get to a touch where I'm in complete contact between my abs and my bar, and I really want to feel the strength in front lever this year. In fact, since today is also the 1st of January, I want to speak about my goals for this 2026. And wait a second. So the goals are: push-wise is becoming a real master of floor and supination. I love floor and supination, and I've been training so much on P-bars that I'm starting to hate them because it's really less creative. Like, I feel like I can't really express myself on P-bars, so I really want to get strong on floor, on transitions, since also transitions is kind of my superpower, and I'm really good at them even if I don't train them. So I really want to work on floor and also supination, because before the volume phase I was looking at supination like it's not quite floor, it's not quite P-bars, like don't really like it. But with modern calisthenics and with the fact that I tried supination, I fell in love with it, and I really want to build strength on that. Like for this summer, getting a good 555 on supination would be a really good thing for me. And talking about P-bars, because even if I want to work a lot on supination and floor, P-bars will always be a part of my trainings. And my objective for 2026 will be 888 with the perfect form, so 10 out of 10 form, perfect dead stop, always protracted at max, always doing like complete range of motion, not doing banana presses, perfect 888. Maybe I can get to even to 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10, 10, 10 by the end of 2026 if I really try. But the reason why I'm not trying to get that is because I really want to get stronger in front lever, because I feel so weak in front lever. And the thing with calisthenics, for me it's a little bit of a dance, and it's a little bit of a way to express myself. And there are certain of motion that you can express with front lever that you can't express with planche, and there are some motion that you can express with planche but you can't express with front lever. And to be a complete expression for me, you have to be strong in both front lever and planche, or push, because like push is not only planche. But anyways, and my main objective would be sat. Obviously, I think that maybe sat is even an easy objective, because if I really try, most likely I'll be able to sat without much problems. So the thing is being able also to do some pull-ups in sat, maybe some pulls in sat, and really getting more knowledge and more strength in front lever. Obviously also wide front lever. I really like this medium width, and trying to do archers and stuff. It's wonderful. When I'm trying that with the bands, it really motivates me to train more front lever. And then last thing for, almost last thing for 2026 is going to be being able to train Maltese without pain. If you know, I've had a lot of problem with my left bicep with Maltese, because I wasn't really knowledgeable more than 1 year ago now when I got injured. I didn't knew what to do to solve this injury. It kept getting worse than better, than worse than better for a long time. And during this volume phase, I finally managed to get rid of it almost completely. Now I'm like 99% healed from the left bicep injury. And the only thing I have is like small inflammations that I'm able to get away with it in a couple weeks, like this shoulder thing. And the last objective, which is really, really ambitious, but it's not impossible, and I'll try as hard as I can to reach, is getting qualified for the elite category in the Stenos, the Switzerland competition. It's really ambitious. I'm really not the level to get that right now, but watching what I've done in the past 5 months, knowing that I still have 6 months to go and I can clean my strength in planche and get even more strength, I'm really like positive that I managed to do that. And even if I know that these objectives are really, really ambitious, like 888, completely good form, and like perfect form, and getting a master of floor, master of supination, Stenos, sat, it's all incredibly hard objectives. But every time I have to give myself a goal, I think that even if I give myself like an easy goal and I know that I can reach it, like once I get there, maybe if I was to give myself a goal that I maybe wasn't able to reach, but failing that will still be more successful than succeed in an easy objective. I don't know if I explained it correctly, but yeah, that's it. I haven't slept much this night, so I tried my best. Now, we're going to do a little training now, not in this video, in the episode 1 of the form phase. And that's it. I'll see you actually in a couple minutes with the episode 1. Actually, I already recorded the intro of episode 1. And if you were only interested in getting more knowledge for the volume and form phase, really hope that helped you. If you really want to know how it goes, you can start following my vlogs. They aren't meant to be followed every vlog. Like you can follow one vlog, then skip 1 week or 2, and you still understand, because in every video I'll try to explain everything you need to know to understand the video. So yeah, I'll see you in the next volume, in the next vlogs of form phase, and there's no need to speak more. If you was wondering who this guy on this, it's not a hoodie, but I don't know the name in English. If you're wondering who's this guy, is Tyler Darden from Fright Club. And after saying you that, since everybody is wondering when I'm wearing this, who is him? I'll see you in a couple seconds with the first episode of the form phase.